Hello, everyone, and welcome to Out in Front. Today we are celebrating Earth Day, and we have an amazing panel with us today. We have Dylan Levy. He's the digital media manager with Nevada Conservation League Education Fund. We have Jejone Witherspoon with Southern Nevada organizer with Indigenous Voices of Nevada. We have our very own Alan Morales, our digital organizer here at Battleborn Progress. And to kick us off on our Earth Day OIF, we have a video from Senator Rosen, which is going to kick us off. So, Brian, when you're ready.
Jackie Rosen, and it's my honor to represent our great state of Nevada in the United States Senate. Happy Earth Day, everyone. On this important day, we recommit ourselves to caring for the beautiful planet we have the privilege of calling home. And here in Nevada, we know just how lucky we are. Our state is home to some of the most spectacular public lands in this country. From the dark skies of Ely to the pristine waters of Lake Tahoe to our awe-inspiring trails at Red Rock, we are surrounded by natural wonders. But to protect our public lands, we must take the climate crisis head on. As Nevadans, we know firsthand the impacts of climate change. From record-setting heat waves to extreme drought to ever-worsening wildfires, communities and families across our state are feeling the dangerous effects of this crisis. Since coming to Congress, I've made it a priority to take urgent action to address climate change. I was proud to help pass the largest investment in clean energy and climate action in U.S. history. And we're seeing the benefits in our state thanks to this historic legislation. With solar companies and clean energy technology growing and thriving, we're creating good-paying jobs. And I also helped write and pass the bipartisan infrastructure law, which is bringing clean transportation to our state and ensuring that we have the infrastructure to cut down on our carbon emissions. And I've been leading the bipartisan fight in the Senate to stand up for our solar industry, which is responsible for creating thousands of union, good-paying jobs right here in Nevada. I know there's more work to be done to meet the urgency of this moment. So I want you to know that I won't stop advocating at the federal level for further action to address the climate crisis. Thank you. Happy Earth Day, and please go out and enjoy our great Nevada outdoors today.
Thank you so much, Senator. Thank you. I'm so excited she was kind enough to send over that video, and definitely getting outside and enjoying our public lands and enjoying the outdoors is one of my favorite parts about living here in Nevada. So we are now joined by our amazing guests. I'm actually going to go around and let them introduce themselves and properly say their names, because I know I asked before the show and I still did not get it right. So I'm actually going to start with Jejone. If you could start and introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your work and your organization.
Hi, my name is Jejone Witherspoon. I work for Indigenous Voices Nevada as our community organizer. And I actually got started in this work maybe about almost last year in January. So very excited about what we're doing here at Indigenous Voices Nevada and kind of preserving the land and looking over to seeing what we can do for the community and kind of protecting our clean water and clean air. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks again for being here. All right, Dylan Levi, if you could go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization.
Awesome, Paula. Thank you so much. My name is Dylan Levi, everyone. Pronouns are he, him. I am the digital media manager for the Nevada Conservation League, and we are the political voice of Nevada's conservation community, and we work to maintain and enhance the natural character and quality of life for all Nevadans through effective advocacy, building collaboration, and most importantly this year by electing pro-conservation candidates. So I'm excited to be here to talk about some of the work that we're doing that impacts all of us here in our communities.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, Alan, go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and the work that you're doing at our organization.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, everybody. My name is Alan. I go by they, them pronouns. I am one of the digital organizers for Battleborn Progress. I've been with Battleborn since January, and I've been organizing for quite a while. I was an organizer with Planned Parenthood for the past almost 10 years. I started political organizing back in 2015, back in Wisconsin, and I've been involved in the political field for a very long time. And yeah, very excited to be here. And the work I do at Battleborn, I am a digital organizer. So we fight disinformation. We try to get volunteers engaged, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about what Indigenous Voices does, because a lot of times when we think of, well, actually, I'm not sure what people think of when we think of Earth Day. I feel like a lot of people, when they think Earth Day, they think climate, they think trees. Obviously, here in Nevada, we have these amazing public lands. With Indigenous Voices Nevada, I know that we pair up a lot to do a lot of our public lands work and our community work. So I wanted to see, Jejone, if you could tell me a little bit about the public lands work that you all do, specific to amplifying not just the public lands work, but also the environmental and other work that you do to amplify Native voices about climate change and help spread their message, enjoying public lands, protecting those lands.
Yes. So just kind of what we're doing here at Indigenous Voices is just, I guess what everyone's really trying to do is protect the land and, empower the people who are living through this kind of climate crisis, who are actually kind of worried and voice their concerns. We want to take those concerns and, implement them into action and making change. And being Indigenous, I think we have always had a natural connection with the world and with the land and the people and kind of water. Everything is a balance. So it's about maintaining that balance and protecting that balance. And I think what IVN is doing to advocate for sustainable practices and improving life for communities that are most vulnerable to the climate crisis, and policies that kind of ensures that Nevadans can benefit from clean air and clean water. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you. And you spoke about, being native to the land. And I wanted to bring Dylan into the conversation because I know, Dylan, you're actually native Hawaiian. And I wanted to see if you could tell us a little bit about your experience being native Hawaiian, traveling to Vegas, and your experience with whether it be your experiences back home or here with the different climate crisis and your experiences growing up and being here.
Yeah, it's funny. I recently sat down to think about this as Earth Day approaches next week, and Senator Rosen really said it at the top. The dry climate here of Southern Nevada really intensifies the effects of climate change that we are all facing, exacerbating current water resources and increasing the risk of wildfires. I know that's a very, very common thing here, which is very, very different from the environment that I originally grew up in. In Hawaii, we face different challenges such as rising sea levels, coastal erosion. So you're dealing with a whole different subset of issues. But I think despite these differences, both regions share a common need for proactive measures to help mitigate and adapt to the climate crisis. And I think that also helps to emphasize the importance of our collective action. So all of us here together, all of our different organizations working together and doing outreach to our communities and helping to foster a greater sense of environmental stewardship. So although there are a lot of differences between the two places, I think the commonalities with finding common action together is something that we can really look forward to.
Oh, my dog started barking, so I muted myself, and then I realized I did not unmute myself. One of the common actions that is one of my favorite that we do with NCL, and we also do with Indigenous Voices Nevada, is our Public Lands Day work. When we're able to, collaborate and get together and put out such an amazing project. It's one of my favorites. So yes, collective action, working together, I think it's always the best thing that we can do. And I love having partners like you all to do it. So, Alan, I'm going to bring you in to talk a little bit about specifically how we Battle Born Progress activate our volunteers, people who are out in our communities and are passionate about, protecting our climate, protecting our earth. Can you tell us a little bit about the digital organizing on that end in our Megaphone program?
Yeah, definitely. So our program is it's basically a way we can combat disinformation and be more active online. Right now with campaigns changing and stuff, a lot of organizing is done online now, and that means sharing resharing content on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, going to digital events like Zoom meetings, or speaking at public commission meetings and so forth. And with Megaphone, what we're trying to do is basically we want to engage folks online. And basically one of the ways to do that is, to go through our Instagram, reshare your content on your personal social media feeds. And that's kind of like the point of Megaphone, where we want folks to be engaged online, reshare content, and also hopefully, once people start, resharing content, and we ask these folks to make content of their own so they can help us and spread the message of organizing across online. Because with Megaphone, if you for me, if you post something on on Instagram or Facebook that is political related, sometimes it gets suppressed online by the tech companies. But with Megaphone, what we're trying to do is give folks a way they can share content online without being suppressed, and that's kind of the point of Megaphone. So yeah, and this could be making toolkits, sending emails to volunteers, going Zoom meetings and so forth.
Yeah, it's super easy to get involved, right? I think our staff is going to be dropping the link in the chat very shortly. So if anybody that's watching wants to get involved with Megaphone, we don't just do it for climate, but we have pretty much any issue you're passionate about. We likely have a Megaphone organizer that can get you set up with some awesome information, some awesome graphics for you to share out to your friends and family. And Alan would love to help you with all that climate work. I do want to get into your story too about why you're passionate about climate and kind of, where you came from in those stories. But I do want to go around because I know that both NCL and Indigenous Voices Nevada would likely also have similar stuff that they're doing around Earth Day. I know we're going to be doing a big Earth Day push with our graphics for our Megaphone volunteers. So again, it's not too late for you all to get involved if you're watching and want to share our graphics. But I want to go ahead and go to Dylan, because I know that NCL is also, you all are always planning some great events, but you have some event planned specifically with Earth Day, I believe.
Yeah, we're really excited here at NCL about celebrating Earth Day, and one of the most prominent ways we're moving towards climate progress, I just want to plug, of course, is through the Inflation Reduction Act. And while the IRA is historic for its clean energy investments, we want to celebrate the law. The law also recognizes the importance of leveraging public land as a natural climate solution. So some events that we're going to be holding next week, both here in Southern Nevada and in Northern Nevada. Our Southern Nevada event's going to be on Tuesday, which is going to be our Clean Energy Career Fair featuring Congressman Horsford at CSN North Las Vegas from 3 to 7 p.m. And we'll be partnering with For Our Future Nevada and Employ Southern Nevada to bring together industry leaders, innovators, and job seekers, providing a platform to explore career pathways and connect with employers committed to sustainability in one of the fastest growing sectors in Nevada's economy. And I'm so sorry, I have a new dog here, so if you hear whining in the background, that's my new baby. And another event that we're also hosting in Northern Nevada is going to be on Wednesday of next week from 6 to 7 p.m., which is our Home Energy Upgrades Workshop in Reno. So we'd love to have all of you Northern Nevada folks up there. We're going to be hosting this in partnership with One APIA Nevada. And this workshop is going to offer Nevadans a chance to learn about the different tax incentives and rebates available under the Inflation Reduction Act, which can ultimately help Nevadans to reduce their utility bills. So we're excited to put on both of these programs. I'm sure I'll talk more about them later on, and I'll drop some of these links in the chat as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to talk more about the Inflation Reduction Act. And I know, like, I live in East Las Vegas. We were going to have Erica from Plan On, who's going to talk a little bit about this too. But I know, like, heat islands is a huge thing, and just like having resources and ways to help, particularly areas in East Las Vegas with some of those, issue areas that particularly affect, these marginalized communities. I live in a big Latino community, so we'll definitely come back to that. I do want to bring it back to Jejone so she can tell us a little bit about Indigenous Voices and if they have any events coming up specific to Earth Day.
Yeah, so kind of what Indigenous Voices is doing kind of with Earth Day, protecting sacred spaces. We're actually working with Get Outdoors Nevada on proposing the East Las Vegas National Monument and getting that established. And that monument spans around 32,000 acres, which is significant because it has features like Frenchman Mountain, Rainbow Gardens, and the Great Unconformity, which the Great Unconformity highlights about 1.2 billion years of Earth history. So I think preserving Earth's history is very important with that. And just with East Las Vegas and getting this monument designated, it's not only like protecting the area, and I've been out there personally, and there's a lot of trash. So just getting that cleaned up and making it more safe for families to be able to go out there and enjoy outdoor experience, and just making it a better quality outdoor experience. There's a lot of glass out there, and so just preventing any kind of trip to the ER, or just really protecting our Earth and this space, and to just understand more about the significance of the sacred. I encourage you to read our op-ed that our government relations director wrote. And the piece just dives into kind of why we need to protect this landscape, but it also what it means for Nevada's future. So I'll drop that article in the chat, but yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're gonna get that article in the chat. We actually also dropped the links and information for the events that Dylan mentioned. We're actually going to drop the petition for the East Las Vegas Monument. I know that Indigenous Voices and our organization worked hard on the Abikwame designation, and we're excited to support and get the East Las Vegas Monument also designated. So thank you so much for that. I'm jumping around a little bit in our conversation. I want to get back to kind of how why you all got into being climate activists and working for the organizations that you all work for, and kind of what drove that. And I want to start with Alan. Alan, I know that you have a unique experience about the climate crisis because you experienced it in two different countries, right? You're originally from Mexico, and you've lived here now. But if you could tell us a little bit about that and how that has given you the passion that you have for working on climate issues, for protecting our lands and all that good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So I was born here in Las Vegas, and I grew up in Mexico City for about 6-7 years of my young adult life. And growing up in Mexico City was an experience. Mexico City is one of the biggest cities in the world. The Mexico City metro area, I think it's like 20 million people, is in a very small area. So, and also Mexico City sits in a valley. So it sits between two volcanoes and a dry lake. So, with a lot of people there and, cars, it contributes to air pollution. which is an issue that Mexico City has suffered for a very long time. It used to be really bad. It used to be really bad back in the 80s and 90s. And growing up in Mexico City for like during the 2000, like early 2000s, I've noticed like the air quality definitely got better. And what one of the programs that the Mexico City government did to improve the air quality, it's a thing called Hoy No Circula, today doesn't circulate. So it's basically a program where certain cars and certain models do not circulate on certain days, and this has significantly like helped like reduce like air pollution in Mexico City. I was just there a few months ago, and I've noticed like the air pollution has gone better. And I remember back in the day, it was really hard for me to like go outside and exercise as a little kid because it was just really polluted. And like if you go to like a top of a building, you cannot even see like the valley, which is filled with smog and just really just not great. But there has been a lot of progress where the Mexican City government has, really tried to improve like air quality. And I know they recently expanded like their metro system, the rapid transit system, and it's definitely gotten better over the years. And I've been since I was a little kid, I was really passionate about the environment because I grew up in a really big metropolis where a lot of people live, and I was there, you know, like during very like air polluted days. And from that experience, it helped me like build a passion for the environment. I was been passionate for the environment. And my message for the environment is like like there's no plan B. Like this is only planet, and we have to take care of it. Like we have to preserve our water, we have to preserve our biodiversity, and make sure we recycle. And yeah, that's why I'm very passionate for the environment.
That was a throwback. I remember when I was like a little kid in school, we used to have the No Planet B shirts. But Dylan, I want to talk to you a little bit about what got you motivated to work in the conservation space, and also because you're one of our experts on the panel. If you could tell us a little bit more too about what's at stake here in Las Vegas in particular.
Yeah, of course. I think for me, my start in conservation work and broader organizing really for me is a personal and a cultural belief. There is a Native Hawaiian proverb that states "Heli'i ka'aina ke kaua ke kanaka," which translates to "the land is chief and man is her servant." And I like to keep that in mind as I kind of just operate and think about the work that we're doing here in Nevada, because from a cultural standpoint, as Native Hawaiian, everything that we do is centered around kind of like a circular motion of life. So everything that we do has an effect, and that effect, is going to affect someone else, and in turn, the greater picture of the land. So I think one of the greatest things that I think Alan already touched on is that time is not on our side, right? One of the latest intergovernmental panel reports on climate crisis makes clear this conclusion when it comes to mitigating the climate crisis. And the report also highlights the need to act now to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and calls out the importance of investing in a clean energy future to make our world healthier and reap economic benefits here in Nevada. And I think one of the most pressing concerns that we're also facing here in Nevada is our air quality. Nevada's most populated counties continue to receive failing grades from the American Lung Association, and our communities are clearly in danger. And these are communities who are mostly BIPOC. There are frontline communities, and it's important for us to acknowledge that at the top as well. And while Nevada has been at the forefront of the climate crisis, I do want to plug that we've also been at the forefront of climate action and clean energy action, from establishing state climate goals to getting to net zero emissions by 2050, to passing AB 184 last legislative session, which establishes the Nevada Clean Trucks and Buses Incentive Program, which is especially important as we talk about polluted air and our air quality, right? Because cleaning up Nevada's air in crowded urban areas, low-income communities, and communities of color, which are exposed to these higher levels of traffic from these vehicles. And we've done a lot to show our state's dedication to confronting the climate crisis, but we can always continue to do more and accelerate toward our goals with strong investments from the federal government.
Absolutely. And I want to hear a little bit about more about what people could do that want to get involved. I want to go to Jejone first, so she can tell us a little bit though about how she got in the work and what caused her for her passion to work in conservation and climate justice.
Yeah, so I think growing up in a rural area on the Navajo reservation, I kind of was always thrown and always made aware of the environment and how we are kind of meant to protect the environment. And, we protect the earth, and like she'll do the same for us. And so growing up where I grew up specifically, there's a coal mine not too far off from where we live. And my auntie's mission's always been to kind of get that coal mine kind of out of where we're from, and it was poisoning our water, and it was taking from our aquifer and the springs of the natural springs that used to be kind of in our area, and that would provide water for our crops and kind of the plants that like no longer grow. So it was mainly centered around that coal mine and kind of advocating that we don't need that coal mine and it's not doing any good for our community. And that's what really what made me dive into this advocacy work. And just having going back to my culture and kind of always trying to protect and preserve what we have. So I think you're on mute again.
I'm gonna get it together one day. I know that we have people watching at home, maybe people watching this later that are feeling like they want to get involved. We know that in our organizations, grassroots is really important. Getting people involved, getting them to have ways for them to make a difference. So Dylan, I want to take this question to you. How do you feel that viewers can get involved with maybe an organization like one of ours, or like what role do you see grassroots activism really playing and shaping, kind of driving home why it is important for people to get involved, to influence decision makers, to really cause change, to help us?
Of course. I think one of the great things about Nevada is just that our community is so centric, and our politicians here or our local leaders are so accessible. And I think one of the most important things that we're doing right now is, again, surrounding the federal clean energy plan and the implementation of it. So educating Nevadans about the different tax incentives and rebates that are available to them to help them save money, to help them reduce their utility bills, and to also just make them aware of the broader benefits that this bill has to offer for all of our communities. And I think that's important, especially as we look at just as folks wanting to get involved this election year, and as we approach Earth Day next week, that it's even more important now than ever just to be involved with in as many capacities as we can, whether that's being involved in the canvassing. We have Conservation Lobby Week that we do every year when we are in state legislative session. So there are a variety of different ways that folks can get involved. I do want to direct folks to our website, NevadaConservationLeague.org, where we have our action alerts. Folks can sign up for those. And we send out updates about all of our upcoming events, things that folks can get involved with, petitions, sign-on letters, and all of that. So we'd love to have folks sign on and be involved with the Nevada Conservation League and all of our lovely partners here and the work that we do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Alan, can you tell us a little? Oh, we have a question. I didn't know we had that as on there, but we'll get to our questions at the end. I have a couple more that I want to ask you all, and then we do want the audience to ask questions. So if you are watching and you have questions for our panelists, questions in general about Earth Day, questions in general about how to get involved, please drop them in the chat, and we will get to them very shortly. I do want to talk to Alan a little bit about, obviously we do a big volunteer push, and Megaphone being a way that we're going to be working on Earth Day. So if you could tell us a little bit about some of the specific Earth Day work that you've been doing through Megaphone and what people can get involved with. I think we were going to be doing a share-a-thon. We were maybe going to be picking out some people or maybe a winner. I won't spoil it, but you let us know all of our Earth Day Megaphone fun we're going to be planning.
Yeah, definitely. So for Earth Day and Earth Week, we're going to be posting some awesome graphics on their social medias at Battleborn Progress, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And basically, we're doing this little raffle giveaway. So by next Friday, we're going to choose one lucky winner for a $50 gift card to Gaia's Flowers. And we're asking our volunteers to reshare or post on your personal social media feed, on like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and just like submit like the you reshared like the content on your social media feed on this link that I will drop on the chat. And from there, we'll pick one lucky winner for next week. But yeah, we're going to make some awesome graphics. I've been working very hard on them. And yeah, super excited. And I hope y'all, we encourage everybody to, reshare content. And yeah.
Awesome. Get signed up today, and we will have those graphics for you tomorrow. We're going to be sharing them all weekend long, asking you all to share them all weekend long. Ahead of Earth Day, which is Monday, April 22nd. And I realize we're 30 minutes into our Earth Day event, and this is the first time that I've reminded everybody that Earth Day is Monday, the 22nd. So we're starting our celebration early, getting people involved, and letting you all start now so you can start sharing our Earth Day content, getting prepared and signed up to attend our Earth Day events that are happening with our partners in the following week and next weekend. So look out for those links. They should be in your chat now. I do want to have time to get to some of those audience questions. Before we do, I just want to go around and ask everyone how they are celebrating Earth Day, or what their favorite ways to celebrate Earth Day is. Since it is a Monday, we might be working. So Jijone, why don't you kick us off? How do you like to celebrate Earth Day, or do you have any plans currently to celebrate Earth Day this year?
I think for me, celebrating Earth Day, I always just like to, I think it's a yearly thing for my family to kind of just always go pick up trash. It's something I kind of just is a little habit. I know I've been in the city now, so I don't really like go out and like take a big bag anymore. But like it's just kind of everywhere I go, I pick up trash. So it's kind of been a almost yearly tradition in my family of just picking up trash on Earth Day. But I think I will be attending some events surrounding Earth Day, so kind of supporting what everybody's got going on.
Yes, absolutely. And I hope that folks sign up for the y'all's event with New Day. I forgot the organization for the cleanup, because that's always a good way to celebrate. So Dylan, how do you like to celebrate Earth Day, or how will you be celebrating this year?
I will be celebrating Earth Day at work this year. But I think one of my favorite ways to have celebrated Earth Day in the past is to really just be involved directly in the land. And back home, one of my favorite things to do was go to a local taro patch and just help to kind of harvest taro. So really, it's just these big, vast, kind of like mud fields. It's almost similar to like rice paddies, and they have these big kind of shoots of taro growing out of the ground. And one of my favorite things, I would just go with a couple of friends. We volunteer our time and go pull some of the weeds, harvest some of the taro, and then we pound it out, and then you make I know folks on this call know about poi, or like that's a big thing back home. So just pound it out some fresh taro, get some poi, and get your hands directly in the land. I think that's the best way to get things done.
Yes, I love that. Alan, how will you be celebrating Earth Day?
As Dylan said, work, but I'm going to take some time and go outside. I recently purchased a bike, like those like big like adult tricycles, like with 3 wheels, because I don't know how to ride like a real bike. So I'm gonna take some time on Monday and the afternoon to go outside and just go on my bike around my neighborhood. And yeah, I encourage everybody, if you are able to, take public transit on Earth Day. Like go on a walk, go to nearest park, and just enjoy the outdoors. I think Monday is going to be a beautiful day, so definitely go outside and enjoy what Nevada has to offer to everybody, because Nevada is a beautiful, beautiful state.
Yes, we are very lucky that I think we live, I might be biased, but I think we're in one of the best places to celebrate Earth Day because it's just so beautiful and there's so many places to go outside and enjoy. I also like that our audience was getting involved in the answering questions. Kathy said that she will be celebrating in her garden. So I feel that. I love that. I have an indoor garden because I can't make my plants work outside, but I do love my plants indoors. We do have some questions that I do want to get to. Oh, but before we do, the most important thing, and the thing that I keep forgetting to say is, Dylan, your new puppy is so adorable, and I get such a big smile on my face every time he's popped up on the screen. So congratulations. I think I need a 4th puppy now. I'm going to tell my husband when I get off this call. All right. So let's get to some questions. Kathy says, I've been trying to deplastic my carbon footprint. I cannot seem to get out of the grocery store without a plastic bag. Any suggestions? And these questions are for anybody that wants to answer them.
Yeah, Kathy, I think, especially as we think about the daily actions that we take, there are so many things that we can do to help lessen our own individual footprints. I think Ellen touched upon, like, hey, go out and go on public transit, and I think there's so many different things that we can do. And me personally, if I don't have the bags, like the reusable bags in the car with me or on my person, it just completely slips my mind. So I would say best suggestion, just have it in there. And I know one of the best things that we can do also beyond that is just staying involved locally and staying involved with, what's going on with organizations like you folks here at BBP, work that we're doing at NCL, and just making sure that folks are educated and knowledgeable about what is going on here in Southern Nevada, and especially next year as we head into legislative session, what's going on in Carson City. So there are so many things that we can do. But Kathy, that's my tip for your plastic bags. I hope it works out for you. If it doesn't, I'm so sorry.
That is a solid tip. I do that too. So when I unpack my groceries, I just leave them by the door, and then whether I'm going to the grocery store or not, I grab them and leave them in the car. So hope that helps, Kathy. If no one wants to add anything to that, because I think that was a solid answer, we can go to our next question. I guess my question, so Lena says, I guess my question is, and what's the best way to reach out to y'all's organizations? I would love to collaborate. We would love for you to collaborate, Lena, and you can get involved with all of our organizations, and sometimes we do events together. You can get involved independently. We will keep you busy for sure. But if you all want to go around and let Lena know how she can get involved, whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. Definitely join our Mega Fund program. We'll drop the link again in the chat. Definitely follow our socials at Battleborn Progress on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and be on the lookout for in-person events in the near future.
Lena, we'd love to connect with you. I'm looking here at some of your comments, especially with your work here in Clark County. Feel free to email me directly at dylan@nevadaconservationleague.org. If not, we also have a contact form on our webpage, nevadaconservationleague.org, where you can contact us. One of our team members will respond to you, but we'd love to connect with any folks who are interested in either getting involved, attending one of our events, or are just interested in the work that we do as a whole. So please feel free to reach out.
Yes, and just following our socials. A lot of the way we communicate and amplify on what we're doing is our social media. So putting a notification when we post, and maybe going to our website to look at what we have going on. I know we had mentioned earlier the East Las Vegas Monument, the petition to sign it. We can put that in the chat, but going to sign that, as well as we do have a sister organization, Native Voters Alliance Nevada, kind of what they're doing with the Nevada Environmental Justice Coalition. So they have a survey that is trying to gather insight on public transportation, affordable housing, and just challenges that we deal, especially with the extreme heat that's going to be coming not too long. It's been getting hot, but there is a feedback collection that should be on our social media. So a lot of what I would say is following our social media. But if you do want to fill out that survey and just voice your concern, feel free. I'll put that in the chat as well. But you'll also have a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. So I think it's a win-win situation, voicing your concern, and also you might be able to win a little bit of money. But yeah, so just follow us, keep up to date. Also email me as well, and I'll put that in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes. So you heard it here, folks. You can find that survey. We're going to try to drop it in the chat if we can, but you can find it through their socials, which we definitely will be dropping in the chat, and with a chance to win. Participate in our share-a-thon, share our megaphone graphics, and we have a potential $50 gift card to Gaia Flowers. They are amazing, and very green standard, awesome florists here locally in town. So you get to participate and potentially win some money and or gift cards. So very exciting stuff. Okay, Lena also asked, since I work with high school students, what do you think the biggest climate issue is impacting them?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take this question. I think the biggest climate issue, and I'll reiterate this again, is just the air quality that we have here in Southern Nevada and in Northern Nevada. There are so many different intersections that come together with this one particular issue, whether it's transportation electrification, smarter urban development, so many different things that tie into making sure our air quality gets better, even within our own homes. But with gas stoves, the different chemicals and harmful pollutants that come out of gas stoves in our homes. So, making the switch over to induction cooktops, that's a very, very big thing. And I think that all goes back towards, our daily actions that we take and the importance of that, and how we can, things that we don't really think about, whether it's even our utility bills, like that in and of itself is a reflection of, the greater issues here at stake. So I would say that's the biggest issue impacting high school students. I mean, I myself, even connecting back home to Hawaii, I lived in a very poor neighborhood, and we had to drive by. There was a small little road, one way in, one way out of my community, a 2-lane road. You had to drive right past a landfill to go to and from home every single day. And I think that now when I look back on it, I'm like, that's crazy. It's absolutely absurd to think. And a lot of the people who also lived in my community were also Native Hawaiians, folks who were on Section 8 housing, folks who rented, for generations and generations. So I think especially as we look ahead towards climate action, making sure our younger folks are involved and are sharing their stories, just like mine, are going to be so crucial to making sure that we have climate solutions in place for all of our communities.
Yeah, absolutely. That was great. I didn't know if anybody else wanted to add, but I think obviously with our young folks they I think are seeing the impacts both immediate and in the long run. So if you, Lena, if you have any high school folks that want to get involved with our organizations, please have them reach out. We love to have young folks get involved, and I know that this issue is important to them. So thank you so much for that question. Thank you everybody actually for your questions. Thank you to our amazing panel. I really appreciate y'all spending some time talking a little bit about Earth Day, but mostly the key parts of it, right, is protecting our lands, protecting our water, protecting our air, and our communities so that we can enjoy them for generations to come. So thank you all again, and have a good night, everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks for another OIF.